Welcome to the Gear Slum, your one-stop shop for all things guitar culture nonsense. I'm Aaron.
I'm Phil.
And I'm Cole.
We're slumming hard so you don't have to.
Cole, that was like a next level radio voice that you just did. That was awesome.
You got to get up close to the mic on that.
You gotta, yeah, that's the thing. The key to the radio is turn your mic way up and talk really quietly. Like, that's the NPR thing, at least.
Yeah.
I feel like their studio must be so quiet.
And the NPR thing is to have, like, weird vocal affectations. And
yeah, and, like,
also,
super high compression rate so that all your little ticks get amplified.
Yeah. Ugh. I don't like NPR. Plus their politics. Ugh.
So I know, like, vocal fries is what it is, but is there a word for when your mouth is dry and it, like, does that?
You can hear
thing?
dry mouth?
Yeah.
You?
No, but I hate it.
Me too. Speaking of which, I'm going to take a sip of water.
So I had kind of a breakthrough last night. My wife and I went to see a movie.
My wife.
What movie was it?
It's a movie called Second Act.
Oh, yeah. Did you like that? My wife saw that with her mother.
Oh, yeah. Is that the one with Whoopi Goldberg where she is a nun and she teaches the kids how to sing?
No. It's, yes.
No, that's Sister
sorry.
Act 2, Back in the Habit that you're thinking of.
Oh, okay.
It has Jennifer Lopez. Yep. 2018.
I'm listening.
Jennifer Lopez. Milo Ventimiglia.
Do you know who Vanessa Hudgens is?
Of course. Of course.
Huggins?
She was in that movie Spring Breakers.
Yes.
Harmony
she was also
the Harmony Korine film Spring Breakers.
Oh, but she was also in all the Disney things.
Yeah, she was in High School Musical too.
High School Musical, there it is.
And High School Musical 1, the original.
She was in Jumanji. I think that's what I recognized her from.
Wait, what?
She was in Jumanji.
Which Jumanji? Because I don't think she was.
Wasn't she?
No, she was not.
I'm pretty sure she was.
Then.
Yeah, you should take it back.
At any rate, I'm normally like a snob when it comes to stuff, just to things in general.
I mean, yeah, because you worked in a record store, so your taste is heightened.
Exactly.
Your palate is refined, you might say.
I watch a lot of comedians that nobody thinks are funny, and so that's how I'm able to tell what's funny, because I think they're funny, but other normal people don't.
Of course, yes. Go on.
So this is not the type of movie that I would normally like, in that it is poorly written and has lots of very cheap, terrible jokes in it. But I actually enjoyed it.
Oh.
Okay.
So, and it had nothing to do with the fact that Jennifer Lopez was in it. Well, it had, you know what I'm saying.
I get it. Although,
just because of her huge butt.
I also am very open-minded, so much so that some friends and I went to go see Geely in theaters when it came out. And it had everything to do with the fact that Jennifer Lopez was in it. That movie was so bad.
I can't even think of what movie that is.
It was literally offensive. It was like this dude. It was Ben Affleck, who was like some kind of like white like Italian mobster.
Oh yeah. No,
but it was like there was like this thing throughout where like his brother was mentally handicapped, and it was like the quote unquote retarded brother was like the whole side thing.
Yeah.
And then there's like a 10-minute scene in the middle of it where Jennifer Lopez is just like doing yoga.
Nice. Is she like ducking under lasers and stuff?
Essentially, yeah. It's like it's that scene, but it was really bad. We were the only people in the theater. There was like 4 of us. We went as a gag, but it was a really bad movie.
This movie had some of my favorite like chick flick
tropes.
Exactly. That's the word I was looking for.
Is that a chick flick? That's when any movie with Michael Chiklis in it.
Yeah. Or Flick McKenzie. I don't That's like it sounds like a race car driver from the 70s or something like that.
Flick McKenzie, or like a pitcher. He's got a wicked spitball.
Flick McKenzie.
So like Leah Remini was her friend, because
of course
you have to have like the one friend who, whether they're married or not, is like, has kids and is like, well, they don't have all the drama in their life that you do.
Yeah, I need you to explain this movie to me, because all I know from it is that they like have sex a few times. Like,
was there a homosexual friend?
They don't really. I don't remember anyone having sex in the movie.
Like, they talk about having sex.
I mean, there are children, so presumably somebody had sex at one point.
What is there a homosexual friend
she gets into the shower
who has
with
all the
him,
good
which
advice?
Leads one to believe.
You must be thinking of a different movie.
Second act. No, I'm thinking of this same movie.
Or maybe they just
it's just in the preview.
Maybe they didn't advertise accurately, because I do not remember. There's like not really a love story at all.
With her and Milo?
Barely. Like they break up early in the movie, and then I don't want to spoil anything, but does not really play a part until the very end of the movie.
See, the movie makes it seem like
he murders her at the last scene of the movie.
Really?
No.
I was like, that's kind of cool.
That would be cool.
The trailer makes it seem like that relationship is the entirety of the film. Like, that's like the thing. Like,
no,
that's her second act is having sex with Milo all over the house.
No, in fact, it's pretty funny because Lacey, like 15 minutes into the movie, she's like, "Oh, I have to go to the bathroom," so she gets up and comes back.
Did she miss the second act?
She was gone for like a minute and a half, and she comes back, and she jokingly was like, "Did I miss anything?" And I was like, "Yeah, actually, they just had the shortest conversation you've ever heard, where he said, 'I want to have kids,' and she said, 'I don't,' and so he broke up with her, and they're now broken up completely." And he did not come back into the movie until the very end. So of course she has Leah Remini, who's her, like, she's still attractive, but not as attractive as Jennifer Lopez. And then her other two friends are just like the funny fat girls or whatever. So of course
Who's
they're
Vanessa
not going to
Hudgens?
Of course they're not going to have any romantic interest of any kind, because who could? They're fat, And then
wait, is one of them called Big Ant?
What are you saying to me right now?
There's a
He's
character.
He's looking up.
There's a
on
character
IMDb.
on IMDb called Big Ant, like A-N-T. It's a lady with curly hair.
Probably. I mean, let's see here. Big Ant. Yep, Deirdre Friel. That's her, and she was actually funny in the movie.
Big Ant. That's such a weird.
I swear, it's very weird.
No, her name. She doesn't have that name.
That's obviously the name in the film.
No, it's not A-U-N-T, Phil. It's A-N-T.
Yeah, it's not like aunt.
It's not describing
like the insect.
her.
The insect ant, like Adam Ant.
I'm just telling you.
It's his cousin Big.
What are you telling us, Phil?
Are you saying that she plays an ant in the film? She plays a large ant?
No.
Oh, maybe that's her name. Maybe you got the columns mixed up. Maybe that's her actual like Christian name, and then Deirdre Friel is her name in the movie.
What are you saying, Phil? Because I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for coming at you so hard.
That's what he said.
Yeah. That's what I said to you just now.
I'm saying that every character needs a title, even if they don't like say things, or even if they're not named in the movie. That's all I'm saying.
But why would they name anyone Big Ant?
That's not a she.
That's has not a descriptive. It's not a descriptive title.
What? When was this movie made?
Oh, this year. It's new. He saw it in theater.
It wasn't at
yesterday.
Like some art. It wasn't at some art house movie theater or something.
I can't imagine.
We didn't watch some Jennifer Lopez movie with subtitles or whatever.
10 years later, like how they play the Wizards of Oz sometimes.
Okay, so
it's going to be playing second act.
The whole story is like it starts off with her getting like some douchey white guy gets the promotion over her, even though she's way better at the job because he went to Harvard or whatever, and she didn't go to
Trey?
school.
Or Chase? Is it a guy named Chase?
No, he doesn't really factor in.
Or is it Anderson Clark? Is it
Aaron,
Williams?
if you're just going to try and quiz me from the IMDb thing,
I'm just trying to picture the thing.
to murder you.
I'm trying to
but
picture the story.
Larry Miller's in it, and he's like has his shaved head.
Oh,
and he looks super weird. Do you know who that is? The guy from...
I do.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what I know him from. You know,
he's the dad from 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yes, exactly. That honestly is probably what I know him from.
But he's also in Pretty Woman. He's like a friend.
So I'm going to get into some pretty hard second act spoilers here. So tune out if you guys are looking forward to this.
Just don't spoil the third act, because that's my favorite act.
It starts off, she doesn't get the job, and then she makes a wish. You know, she goes to her friend, to Leah Remini, and they cry about it and say swear words, and then the younger kid hears him swearing and says the swear word, and then she says, "Get out of here! You shouldn't swear like that." And then she makes a wish. She wishes that, I wish.
Wait, this is a wish fulfillment movie?
Aaron,
I'm with you. I'm sorry.
Don't interrupt me.
Go ahead. I'm shocked by the complexity of this plot.
I wish street smarts were the same. Just buckle your seatbelt, because it is. There are twists and turns. I wish street smarts were the same as book smarts. So then, Leah Remini's other kid, who's getting ready to go to Harvard, because he's a genius, or no, Stanford, and he makes up a fake. She gets a call while she's at her job with her new boss, who's a total dork. Gets a call to come and do this job interview, and she finds out that her friend's son made this fake job application and lied about her credentials. But she still goes to the job interview, and it's for one of the like beauty suppliers or something, and because she worked at this grocery store, she knows all the ins and outs of that. So she goes into this interview and does really well. And ends up getting this job that she's not, because of her resume where she lied, you know. And then her main rival at this place is young
determined
woman
to figure out
who's the owner's daughter,
and that's Vanessa Hudgens.
That's Vanessa Hudgens.
Okay.
So they come up with like this competition between the two of them.
Oh.
Jennifer Lopez is going to create this organic line of beauty products, and Vanessa Hudgens is going to create, I don't know, just going to like sort of iterate on what they already have. Just
like as a sidebar, this is like the equivalent of when, like in the 1990s, people had to like create a website. Like
exactly. Like it like you should have seen the scenes in the lab, the quote unquote lab. It was amazing.
I love it.
So then, okay, at some point along the way, she mentions, part of the reason she Milo broke up with her, and then Leah Remini is like, well, did you tell him about your daughter that you gave up for adoption when you were 17 and blah, blah, blah. Guess who Jennifer Lopez's daughter is?
Annalee Ashford.
No, Vanessa Hudgens, the freaking girl who she's rivals with, and the dad knew that when she called her in for the job interview, but he didn't know that she didn't actually go to Harvard, which is hilarious that like, somehow he's able to do all this research and know that this is the birth mother of his adopted child, but didn't know that she didn't freaking go to Harvard, didn't even graduate from high school. Like, it is how
hard is it to confirm that someone did or did not graduate from Harvard?
So easy. Like, it's so easy. It's like a 2-minute phone call.
This is amazing.
And but the absolute best part, because they're like, they're very much foreshadowing the fact that she's the daughter, you know. But but then when they kind of actually drop it, so like literally everyone who has half a brain cell in the theater
already knows
that she's the daughter. But then when they actually drop it, this one lady behind us like gasped so loudly, and Lacey and I just started laughing out loud. Oh my gosh, it was so good. So then the whole culmination of the thing is, Vanessa Hudgens reveals her line, and we predict an increase of this percent and an increase in revenue of 23 million. And Jennifer Lopez reveals her line, and she's like, we predict an increase in revenue of 60 million. And so at the end, it's like, well, the board accepted yours. And it's like, this is not how business decisions are made.
Just by predicting. We predict.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
like,
cool.
I predict I'm going to be a billionaire. Like, oh my gosh. So
well, let's go with the billionaire plan.
But the weird, like, the thing with poorly written movies a lot of times is like, like the aspects that are annoying to me are the pieces where they try to make conflict where none actually exists. Like,
yeah.
Like the fact that she would be so ashamed and that like Milo was so mad at her for lying to him about the fact, like, and not telling him that she had a daughter that she gave up for adoption. Like, what? Like,
wait,
why would
mad?
any? Yeah, like he
like
was
at
like
the end.
Yeah, and it's like, why would he care?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I didn't want to tell you until
like,
now.
Oh man, that must have been really hard for you.
Yeah, like that sucks and everything, but it's
forever.
not something that makes me not want to be with you anymore. It's the
Right,
weirdest.
It's a, oh, why didn't you tell me? But it's not like a deal breaker thing. It's just like a
right.
It's still the words are still the same.
It creates some conflict, but not the type of conflict that would lead you to break up. Just the type of conflict that would lead you to be sad or whatever.
Well, cool. You don't get to tell people how to feel, so.
Oh, snap.
I know how normal people usually feel, though.
This episode of the Gear Slum is sponsored by the Gabriel Tenorio String Company.
Mm-hmm.
Bridge to Knot Ropes. I got to get some new ropes for my
new note ropes.
My new rope board. Got a new rope board.
Ooh. New rope plank.
Yes, a plank attached to a plank. A plank attached to a block, maybe?
Plank.
How would you describe the body?
I mean, I guess it's a plank because it's
slab
in one direction. A slab, maybe.
It's like a plank.
It's not a slab in the guitar sense.
The neck is a plank.
The whole thing is a plank.
The body is a slab.
I think
guys,
it
the
has
whole thing is a plank,
though, Guitarist
and time is a flat circle.
What's a guitarist, though?
I don't know. It's a magazine.
Who's Guitarist?
Who is Guitarist?
Who's Guitarist? Think about that.
I love the fact that I corrected you on that, and I didn't know. I assumed it was just a typo or something. I didn't know that, like, you genuinely.
No, it's the chink in my armor.
Yeah, like that's the one piece of grammar that trips you up. And it made me even happier when I found that out.
That and receive. I literally struggle every time I write the word receive, trying to remember how to spell it.
Yeah.
I'm sure I
have lots of those too.
Oh, I knew this girl in high school, and we didn't like date or anything, but we wrote letters back and forth for a minute. And whenever she would write weird, the word weird, she would spell it W-E-R-I-D.
What?
Because I guess she was like slightly dyslexic or something. I don't know, but it drove me crazy as a child.
It got you going and got your motor running?
No. No, it took me crazy to the grocery store, but like in a slightly frightening way.
Girl, you driving me crazy.
You're driving me crazy right now.
With that weird spelling.
That's weird. That's so weird. That's weird. Speaking of high school, I just had this realization the other day. There was this kid that I went to high school with who was like super heavy into he would always wear Pink Floyd t-shirts. And I was like thinking about that and how old that would have been. Like, that's so old. Like, how does he listen to that old music? But that's basically like 90s music now. Like, equivalent time-wise. Isn't that weird? Ooh. It's weird.
Yeah, but like if a kid now
Isn't it older than that?
A freaking like Incubus t-shirt to high school, that would be weird.
Yeah, it's like kids wearing Nirvana
and
shirts
yes,
now.
Listeners, I'm saying that Incubus is the equivalent of Pink Floyd.
Incubus probably is the equivalent of Pink Floyd. Like the 90s equivalent of Pink Floyd.
Hell yeah.
Or, yeah.
This is great.
So, so Jimi Hendrix is John Mayer. Maybe not. Jimi Hendrix, who would be the new Hendrix of the 90s, let's say?
Of the 90s?
Yeah, let's say Hendrix of the 90s, because Incubus is the Pink Floyd of the 90s. Although is Hendrix like before Pink Floyd?
Tom Morello.
I have a hard time placing Pink Floyd chronologically. Are they like 60s 70s. Or 70s or like
they're 70s?
So they're not.
Trust me, I was there.
They're not like. Obviously, they're not like Elvis and like. What's that?
Yeah,
dude,
Phil had
Little
kids
Richard.
that wore Pink Floyd t-shirts to his high school too. That's because they were a current band.
Yeah, Phil had
Like
kids in high school.
They just bought it at the concert the night before.
Phil's 2 boys were in high school when Pink Floyd came out.
Okay, here's something weird.
Did bands in the 70s have T-shirts?
Sure. Here's something weird.
Did they wear T-shirts?
The movie
was that like a thing, like band shirts?
Yes. So the movie Dazed and Confused came out in the mid 90s
with Owen Wilson.
It came out in like 93, I think.
All right.
You're right, early 90s, and
I'm just guessing.
In the movie, they say I'm not going to football practice because we need to go get Aerosmith tickets.
Right. Jason London says that. London.
And I don't know how they could have timed it so perfectly that the band the kids in the movie, and it's taking place in the 70s in the movie, wanted to see a band that became cool again in the early 90s. Like, I don't know how they timed, like, they couldn't have planned it, but like Aerosmith became super huge again.
I can't stand it. Looks like you planned it.
I know you planned it.
What is it? What was that?
An utter disaster? That's what you call it.
That's
what you call a cow jumping over a chain link fence.
Armageddon, right?
No, it was before Armageddon. But what was the utter? They had an album with the utters on it.
It was Pink. Well, like Pink was one of the songs from that album, I think.
Oh. Maybe.
Was it called Pink also?
Probably.
Pink like my favorite crayon.
It was the one with Alicia Silverstone in like all the videos.
Yeah, it had the song Crazy on it. It had the other song.
Crazy,
Alicia Silverstone and what's her name?
Big Ones? Was that what it was called?
Yeah, Big Ones. What's her name? What is her name? She's Liv Tyler. I cannot think of Liv Tyler. Because I remember this because Liv Tyler was hired to do those videos before she knew that Steven Tyler was her father.
What?
Yes.
Yeah,
she thought
it's literally like the plot to Second Act.
Second Act?
Yes.
Dude, that's a real life Second Act?
She thought that it was one of the other dudes was her dad. Because her mom
didn't know that she didn't go to Harvard.
That's even weirder that she thought one of the other dudes was her dad.
No, her mom was a groupie. It was like a rock and roll groupie. And so she assumed that her mom had always told her dad was one of the other dudes.
No, not from Aerosmith. Her mom was married to some guy, I think, like another rock star, and she just assumed that he was her actual father.
Is that how the story?
Yeah.
Okay. But then it was like, holy crap, these two look a lot
Rundgren.
alike. Okay, this is the part where Aaron corrects me after Googling things. What is it, Aaron? Tell us.
Todd Rundgren.
Of course, everybody knows who Todd Rundgren is.
Everyone does know who Todd Rundgren is.
I do. I recognize his name.
Yeah, same.
Who is he, Cole?
Oh man, he's got to be like
from a band
DJ or something.
DJ. Todd
like a
Rung.
I think he's maybe just like a solo artist.
Todd Rundgren tour.
Todd Rundgren occupations.
He was in Runt. He was in a band
Todd
called
Rundgren.
Runt. Ugh.
Yeah, he's just like a guitar, like a
he looks
session
like a
player, guitar player, like a rock and roll session.
That's probably yeah. There's another famous Rundgren though, isn't there?
You're probably thinking of Liv Rundgren, who is Todd's daughter.
So,
but not
allegedly.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Todd Rundgren owned that that cosmetics company, right?
Of course, Todd Rundgren. Todd Rundgren. And
his daughter was the heir to the throne, but
Todd Rundgren.
So on Liv Tyler's
Wikipedia in a band
page,
called Naz.
On Liv Tyler's Wikipedia page, it has possible fathers.
No, the very first line says.
Oh,
she's
he
an
has
American.
the song called "Hello, It's Me," which I don't know. Okay, sorry. The very first line said she's an American
actress, producer, and former model. She is best known for her portrayal of Arwen in the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah,
that's not true.
What about it? You don't think that
That's
she's best known for that?
True.
No, she's best known for being Steve Tyler's daughter and for being in that freaking "Don't Want to Miss a Thing" video.
Well, she wasn't actually in the video.
She was in the movie, bro.
There were film clips of her in the video. Like, she didn't film a music video for that movie. I mean, for that song.
She was in the movie.
Was she in the video?
Well, yes, the movie, the video was like a clip
I would
show
say,
of the
I would
freaking
say
movie.
she's more famous for her role in Armageddon than she is in.
Yeah, I could get on board with that.
That's because you hate.
You hate fantasy literature.
No,
Yes.
I have the Lord of the Rings trilogy box set
Tattooed
of
on
all
your
the
butt.
extended versions.
Oh, me too.
I have the whole box set tattooed on my butt.
Just the words.
I got the original ones. I got the original ones.
A picture of the box set.
No,
It's
you
the whole.
You have the text that just says Lord of the Rings Extended Edition box set tattooed on your butt.
Well, no, because first I got just the Lord of the Rings box set, and then they put out the extended edition, so I had to go in and have them like redo the tattoo, you know,
Just a
Totally.
little carrot.
like
add
that,
the-
like that
add the words
Pikachu.
in.
Have you seen
Yeah,
that
you-
Pikachu tattoo?
You had to go back to the tattoo place and say, okay, I need you to add on to this now with 87 more minutes of footage.
Exactly, and maybe some nudity. It's the uncut version.
Well, no, there's not.
There's this. It's like
It's Middle Earth. Everyone's uncut.
There's not elf on elf nudity. Whoa, what are you talking about?
What?
Have you seen that Pikachu tattoo? It's
No.
like you see it posted because it's like a really good cover up. Somebody got this like terrible tattoo of Pikachu. It's like really poorly done. So then they went back later
yeah.
and got that like a really nice one of Pikachu painting the crappy one like on an easel.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's pretty good. So Liv Tyler, guys, call into the phone line and tell us if you think she's more well known. She's like such a minimal character in Lord of the Rings. That's what's like,
Live free or die, Tyler. That's what I always say.
no, dude, live free or die, Rundgren.
Live
Die
Tyler or die, Rundgren.
die, Rundgren.
Rundgren.
Rundgren is one of the hardest names to say.
Rundgren.
Rundgren?
I need to know more
Are you
about
thinking?
the
You're
fact
thinking
that,
of. I know what you're thinking of, Cole. You're thinking of the Grunyons.
Grunion. That's easy to say.
The running
Grunion.
of the
dude.
Grunyons.
I'm so
Isn't that a
hungry.
But now
thing?
when you add
I
run,
could go
Is
for
that a
some
creature that's
Funyuns
kind of like a lemming?
I don't know.
right?
I was thinking of Vanessa Hundgren.
Oh, the Hundgren Games.
the Hundgren Games?
The Hundgren Games.
The
One-
Hundgren Games.
100
Oh, I got
years
it.
of solitude.
Vanessa
No.
Hundgrens is making me laugh. I gotta admit.
I got it. The Hundgren Games is the game of trying to figure out who
Who's your father?
Liv Tyler's daddy is.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Well, I know he's a rock star, but that's all I got. He's one of 9 rock stars. It was a crazy time. My mom had a crazy life.
I'm just gonna read Liv Tyler's Wikipedia page if we don't change the subject here.
Yeah, we did.
Read it out loud.
No, because that's a very creepy story.
Todd Rundgren.
I don't think so. I think what happened is her mom like hooked up with Steven Tyler, and then she like met Todd Rundgren, and they started a relationship. But she
You
was
make
that
me
part.
already
That
the
part
one
isn't
with
that part isn't
started a
messed
new
up. The part
relationship.
where it's
Part,
like
yeah.
you.
so Steve Tyler knew that she was his daughter, but then
I
also
don't think he knew either.
hired him to do modeling or something.
I don't think he
No,
knew either.
Cole,
Neither one
there
of
were-
them knew.
Everyone was intimate with everyone, so there was like, who's to say?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to put them in my square box. You know, in Squaresville.
I'm saying I don't think either he or she knew that they were father daughter.
Cole, you're just so uptight. Just
How did
loosen
they
up.
find
Just-
that out?
Well, he may have known that he had a daughter. I don't know.
No.
I'm sure the mom knew, and she was like, "Bro, that's your daughter." But also, he probably didn't hire her.
Yeah, he probably.
Like, I
wasn't-
doubt that Steven Tyler is
he
like
probably
doing
wasn't the
casting
one
calls.
looking through headshots and stuff like that.
I mean, he may have been,
Yeah, I don't know. He may have been.
but not
What's
to see
kind
who
of
he
messed
wants
up
to
though
hire.
is like It's like she totally, I'm sure as soon as she found out, she's like, peace out, Todd Rundgren, whoever the F you are.
No, Todd Rundgren was her dad for like 20 years. He's like her dad. Although if I found out Steven Tyler was my dad like today, I would be like, peace out, Pat.
Yeah, dude, screw Pat. Freaking a-hole. He's not even
I
a
always
patron.
suspected.
I'm never calling you again.
I always suspected Steven Tyler was my dad. And now that
Tyler
I know,
PJs.
I'm excited now that I'm going to grow up to look like an old woman. He did not age well.
no.
Like a lot of rockers, and I guess it's because like people who were in rock before, like the Beatles, like Paul McCartney still looks just like a normal person, but maybe they didn't do a lot of the hard drugs. They did like psychedelic drugs, I guess, but they probably weren't just doing cocaine all the time.
Well, they were also there wasn't this big push to look crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
Because Steven Tyler actually doesn't look bad for a 70-year-old man. Like, he doesn't look super old.
I guess he is 70. That's what's crazy about Aerosmith. They've been around.
Yeah, they've
been around for so freaking long. And
right, that was my.
I know,
Yeah.
but like
point.
The fact that like when I think about them, I think of them as like an 80s, 90s band. But
that was their comeback.
Yeah,
exactly.
Their first hit was in like 73. Dream On was 73.
That's crazy talk. And it's crazy because I was listening to Dream On the other day. That song's freaking awesome, by the way. And his voice sounds so good on it. And it's crazy how much his voice changed between then and like their later stuff.
Yeah.
Because his voice was a lot like, I don't know, deeper and harder, I guess.
He's only 5 years younger than Mick Jagger. They're basically contemporaries.
Mick Jagger's aged pretty well, though. He's still looking pretty good.
Yeah, I was just thinking like Rolling Stones you think of as like an old band.
No, I was being sarcastic, though, because Mick Jagger looks like an old baseball mitt.
No, I agree with you,
Keith
Aaron.
Richards
I feel
looks
like
worse than Mick.
Yeah, Keith Richards looks worse than everyone.
I feel in my mind for some reason Mick Jagger and Aerosmith feel like Aerosmith. Steven Tyler could be Mick Jagger's kid.
Yeah,
in my mind.
Like they
generationally,
seem like the next generation, not like just after.
Right, but I think that the truth is Rolling Stones were like later in their era, and Rolling Stones were like early for their era or whatever.
Yeah, and I think it's because they do different things. Like the Rolling Stones had that kind of classic rock, early rock sound, and
but the Rolling Stones never came
like
back
the
though.
Early hard rock thing.
Yeah, the Rolling Stones never came back. Like
they were always just like the Rolling Stones, and
yeah, exactly.
They were not popular in any current era.
They didn't like reinvent themselves. They were always popular as like
your dad's
like
classic
an old
music,
like classic act. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Or for Phil, like your older brother, like his type of music.
Right. my older cousin who brings records over.
Elton John. March 1947.
Jeez.
Elton John is another one that I can't really place. I know that he's old now, but like he's been because he's
Elton John and
he
Steven
started
Tyler are
too.
exactly a year apart.
Say what?
They're exactly 1 year apart. Elton John and Steven Tyler.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
They were born in Marches a year apart. That's wild. Elton John has done a good job of staying relevant. Like he was around in the 60s, I think. Not relevant, but like I don't mean staying relevant like in the sense of like pop music.
Like he doesn't have a number one
more
single
popular,
right now.
Elton
like
John or Liv Tyler.
Updating his sound to like kind of stay modern.
Well, and also like
he and Billy Joel both.
Like people were still like they did their tour, that face-to-face tour, and then he was writing Broadway shows and stuff.
Well, he had that album in like the late 90s or early 2000s that was pretty popular too.
Yeah.
That I posted.
That type of music, like you can picture that sticking around more though.
Yeah, because pianos kind of always sound the same. I think that's one of the weird things about guitar music is that guitar tone changes so much. like the sound of guitars, you could not get away with like sounding like the early Rolling Stones now. Also, I guess part of that's just production value and stuff, like equipment.
Yeah, but it has very much production. Like the electric guitar is such a crazy instrument, where a piano is just a piano that you're recreating. And granted, you can have like a synth or whatever, but if you're trying to make a piano, it's like an acoustic guitar, you know, like you know what an acoustic guitar sounds like.
Yeah. Whereas electric guitar at this point is essentially like a MIDI controller.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like an effects controller.
Yeah.
For the most part. Speaking of electric guitars, this episode is sponsored by Sinusoid.
That exact.
Pro Audio Couture. They make the best cable ropes for your guitars.
Even if it's an acoustic guitar that you have to plug in.
Yeah, an acoustic
You still have to plug it in, you guys.
An electric acoustic.
Well,
I have one of those.
When you play to more than like 5 people, Phil, you do have to plug it in.
Or even if you just want to connect your microphone to something, like a public address system.
Yeah,
you can do that
if you're a
with
politician.
Sinusoid XLR cables.
I'm sure we have lots of politicians who have to give speeches that are listeners.
Yeah.
Are there any speeches that are memorable to you from politicians, Phil?
Yes. This one time, Hillary Clinton said, "Pokemon, go to the polls."
You can Pokemon go to the rock show with your Sinusoid cables. Hillary Clinton.
I don't know how I never heard that.
Remember Hillary Clinton?
As a fan, as an equal parts fan of funny videos and Pokemon Go,
and Hillary Clinton.
It is hard to tie. I'm a huge Hillary fan.
You've got that tattoo, the big H.
Exactly. I have the Lord of the Rings on one cheek and just Hillary Clinton's face. I got Kat Von D to do it because she's so good at those portraits, and because I agree with her stance on not vaccinating children.
Did you go on her show though? Were you on LA Inc.?
Yeah, dude.
Nice.
There was so much drama too. I don't know,
dude. Do you remember Miami Inc.?
Heck yeah. Miami
That's where
Inc. was
Kat got her
before
start.
LA Inc.
That's where Kat got her start.
On TLC,
Cole was on the show.
I learned so much on that show.
Dude, real talk though, Miami Inc. was a great show.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it.
I watched
that
it
show.
a bunch.
I watched every episode multiple times.
It was no intervention, but it was good.
No, Ami and the two Chris's and Darren. I love those dudes. That I legitimately love that show.
Yeah.
But wait, you have no tattoos?
What?
You don't have tattoos, but you like the show?
I just told you I have two tattoos.
Have a tattoo.
No, I'm talking to Aaron at this point.
I do have a tattoo. I'm cool.
Well,
I have a tattoo.
You think my mom won't let me get a tattoo?
Phil, how have you never seen my tattoo?
I'm not remembering.
Oh, I know
Show me
why.
right
It's
now.
because I wear long sleeves all the time.
Where is it?
Show me right now.
Even
Show
in
us.
the summer. It's on my arm.
Show us in the thing.
No. It's not great. I don't love it. I don't think I forget about it.
You don't have to love it, but it's on your body. Show us.
It's not on my body. It is my body.
Just show us.
I'm going to show you. Ready? It's on my arm. You see it?
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, weird. It's a tattoo of a swastika.
Is that a hammer and sickle?
Check this out.
And it says Hitler had a lot of good ideas underneath it.
If you used to be a Nazi and you had a swastika, the best way is not to cover it up, but just to like add one of those little Calvins peeing on it. Right?
Perfect.
That's the best way to stick it to the Nazis.
Yeah.
To own the Nazis. That is a good idea.
That's the way to do it. You're right. You are correct.
I saw, you know how it used to be like the Calvin peeing on the Ford or the Chevy symbol?
Yeah.
And I've seen trucks that just have the Calvin peeing on like the actual, like on
their
the
own
tailgate that has the symbol. Yeah, like peeing on that, which is pretty.
You're
funny.
supposed to pee on the other brand.
Exactly. That's what's
not
funny.
Your
like,
own brand.
I respect that. You know.
Oh, guys, check this out. I got some big news.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
So in the Secret
You're
Santa,
getting a tattoo?
I got Fox Pedal Kingdom, right? Which was cool. Whatever. But last night, I decided to make a trade for the 15th anniversary edition of the Keeley 2-knob compressor. And I could not be... Well, I probably could be.
Because as Aaron has always said, the only thing better than one knob is two knobs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All my
exciting.
Technically, he's trading 3 knobs for 2 knobs.
I'm trading 3 knobs and 2 switches for 2 knobs and no switches.
Ooh, yeesh.
That's a downgrade.
You sure that's a good deal?
It's a great deal, in fact.
Okay.
You're not adding value, though, according to Phil's formula. Oh, there's a cat.
I'm adding value in that each knob is now worth more than the knobs before.
So you're into quality and not quantity.
Yeah.
So I've been playing with the compressors on the HX Stomp, and I like compressors.
Dude, every time I have a compressor, I was saying this last night, every time I have a compressor, I like it, but I always end up selling them. And I think because I feel like it's like the most dispensable thing.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't feel sexy.
When in reality, it's way more useful than a fuzz pedal. I know, like, I hate to say that, you know.
Yeah, like having multiple fuzz pedals.
It's not very on brand, but having 3 fuzz pedals on your board is not as useful as having a compressor. The end.
Totally. I totally agree.
So tell me, do you know the difference between all the different like that's what Keeley is most known for in my mind is the compressors. Is that
so the two knob one is just like sensitivity and level, like a Dynacomp or something.
Yeah.
I think the 3 knob one adds a tone knob.
Was that a tusk pick, Phil?
No, sorry.
That's my understanding is the 3 knob adds the tone knob and the 4 knob adds a blend control.
Oh, like a wet dry mix or something?
Yeah.
Huh.
And then the Compressor Plus has like the pickup selector switch. So it has a setting for oh no, here we go. It doesn't. It has the 4 knob has sustain and attack, level and clipping, which I guess is like I don't know what the clipping control does exactly. So maybe the 3 knob has attack and release or attack and 3 knob has 3 knobs labeled. Someone else knows this already and they're hating this part. Yeah, sustain and attack and level. So it has sustain and level, the 2 knob. The 3rd one adds attack. The 4th one adds the 4 knob adds clipping. And then the Compressor Plus has compression, level, mix or blend, and tone. And also the humbucker single coil switch. Those are the 4 versions that I know of. But then he has other compressors too. Like there's a studio one and there's a bass one and there's a limiter. But go on.
Am I right in saying that that they are most popular for their compressor? Like that's what Keeley's most well known for?
I think that's what put him on the map, yeah.
It's kind of crazy that
the like 2-knob compressor is like a classic.
It says a lot about the pedal because like we talked about, compressors aren't very like flashy, you know.
Right. Especially a 2-knob compressor, like so simple.
Like something like the Pelotar, it's easy to see what the appeal of it is, and it's a very cool pedal that's unique and everything. Like a compressor, it must be good to have put them on the map, you know.
Yeah, so like, what's that pedal that came out? The Game Changer audio one with the lightning bolt in it or whatever.
Yeah.
Something like that can like take off just because it's unique and it doesn't actually have to sound good, or like it doesn't have to sound like amazing. It's just like cool and new. But like a 2-knob compressor like has to be good.
Yeah, like there's nothing cool about it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that Game Changer pedal, like, I don't know. Is there anything more to it than just a gimmick?
I don't know. I think the cool thing is you're allowed to like control the amount of voltage, so you can kind of like do a voltage sag kind of thing with it.
Okay.
But I've never actually I've heard
the one you're talking about is that plasma one with the little
that's what
it's like
called.
A little fluorescent tube in the
yeah.
I mean it's like lightning bolts, but
yeah, it's called the plasma, I think.
That's I don't know. It's interesting.
It's $300.
it's surprisingly gimmicky.
It is. I feel like it's it's like a flash in the pan kind of thing. It seems like
the caber. That's what it's called, right? The why'd I just blank on their name? Ed Shoe's company.
Wrought iron.
Yes. Like that is cool. It's not like gimmicky. It's just a cool design, you know. It's not like he's saying that the sword, you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings guy.
Yeah.
Where the
you know
LED
that movie
is like the sword.
That movie that Liv Tyler is most well known for.
Yeah.
Like he's not claiming that it's, you know, in any way tied to.
Oh no, it's not the Lord of the Rings one. It's not. It's the one that has like Kylo Ren's lightsaber on it.
Yeah, it has Kylo Ren's lightsaber on it. Ed's a huge fan of Star Wars.
It does.
Isn't it something else?
It's Kylo Ren's This one is Kylo Ren's lightsaber, and then it has a quote from Cormac McCarthy on it. But he has the other one, the Orcris, which has the Lord of the Rings sword on it that lights up with letters.
Oh, it is Kylo Ren's lightsaber.
Because it's like a red glitchy flash thing.
I was thinking it was more. I was thinking he was always more into fantasy than sci-fi.
That's a good question. Is Star Wars fantasy or sci-fi?
Fantasy.
It is, right?
I mean, yeah, I guess once you bring like the Force into it, it's not sci-fi anymore.
And I think of sci-fi as being largely based in the future, and this is based in the past. Star Wars.
Well, yeah, it's
but it's in a galaxy far away, so time is kind of
fantasy.
Relative.
It's fantasy in space.
That's
what it is.
Like, although it is temporally behind us, like it's more advanced technologically and societally than we are.
Yeah,
I don't know about societally. There's an emperor that rules everybody with an iron fist.
Yeah, but I don't mean advances.
Ever heard of America?
I don't mean advances in more sophisticated. I mean advances in like further along the spectrum. Like they're already like post-apocalypse, essentially.
Yeah, and they have like freaking speeder bikes and stuff. We don't have those.
Yeah, dude.
Well, that's technologically.
And they have other things that we don't have.
Leia has like cinnamon buns on her head.
But think about the way they get along with other species. Like we're not doing that societally.
Yeah, I know. We hate other.
We can't even get along with people of our own species.
There is.
Whoa.
Whoa. Podcast over.
Boom.
There is like some weird racial undertones with some of the other species, right?
Well, that happened. That happened with the prequels.
Was it more
like
just
all
the
of a sudden?
Was it not that way with the Ewoks?
Well, okay. So here's the thing. Here's what
Jawa,
he did.
Maybe.
But
they seem vaguely Bedouin.
What what happened was in 4, 5, and 6, the different species didn't speak English. They had subtitles on the bottom.
Oh,
they'd speak in their language, and then they'd have subtitles on the bottom.
Yeah.
But in the prequels, I don't know why, but he chose to have them speaking English.
But with like a
no, because Admiral Akbar
and gave them
Admiral Akbar said it's a trap in English.
Okay, he's like
but that's like
I know there are, but like Aaron, I'm saying
you're talking about
saying
I see what you're saying.
Donde está la biblioteca?
No, I get what you're saying. You're talking about like people who aren't like the secluded species.
There were a lot of species, and you're right. There were some who spoke. There were different species that spoke English, but those ones that spoke English, they didn't speak it with a different accent.
Right.
And then he added one in the prequels. He gave these different species. He's had them speaking English with accents. There's like 2 that I'm thinking of specifically.
Beaks.
Okay, 3 where
Jar
it's
Jar
like
one. I
these
know
like
we're like
racist stereotypes.
That's what's troubling, and I know everyone and their dog has talked about that. But like, how was that okay in 2001?
I don't know, and it wasn't. People were like, "Wait, what the hell are you doing?"
Yeah. Like even at the time, people were like, "What? What are you doing?"
Have you seen the theory that like he's like a master Jedi? Jar Jar.
George Lucas? Oh
no, and he's basically doing like a Jackie Chan drunken master thing the whole time?
I've heard that. Yes, that makes me mad to even think about. But
I'm glad we brought up Star Wars to get Phil back into the episode.
Yeah, he was gone.
I was literally snoring into a coma listening to Aaron talk about different compressors.
I like I say, snoring into a coma, like you're snoring into
Yeah, I was snoring my way into a
Phil,
coma.
I have to make that dude in the Tone Mob happy and make this podcast more informative, okay?
Okay. Well, then good job.
No,
or else he's going to come show his fuzz pedal to my wife again.
I think that comment was about informative as you podcast.
Yeah. About informative as you podcast. And then I insulted his grandchildren. How dare
when did you insult his grandchildren?
You don't remember? So it was like this whole thing. There was an incident in a Facebook group a while back where I don't even remember what happened. Oh, someone posted about like
it was about Debbie Ever, wasn't it?
It wasn't about Debbie Ever. It was about like buying and selling. It was about a company that was getting a cease and desist from Eventide.
Yeah,
and I said something like, I said it's like a capitalist wet dream, because like capitalists should love that, right? And then someone else said, and then this dude's capitalism. Like, no, it's more like a socialist snowflake dream or something. And I was like, oh, good one. And then he comes back and he goes, good one? Oh, about as informative as you podcast.
Oh, yes. Now I remember.
And so then I looked at his profile and I saw that he was old. And I said, you kiss your great grandchildren with that mouth?
Which is a solid burn.
Yes. And then that's when
he said, ask your wife about it because I was banging her last night.
No, or whatever, like, yeah, ask your wife about my fuzz pedal. Like,
which is like, first of all,
okay,
that's not like, what aspect of that is bragging? Like you're saying you have an excessive amount of pubic hair or something? Like you refer to it as your fuzz pedal? That doesn't make any sense.
You just gotta.
It's very distorted and compressed, I guess.
You get a little block area down there and then with a little hard click foot switch sticking out. Good one. Yeah. So anyway, that was, and then he said something, and then it got like really bad, and then everyone came and they're like, okay, everyone calm down. There are many sides.
Everyone came.
Yeah, that's when it was like, hey, everyone chill out, and it's like maybe tell the one guy who's being a total a-hole to chill out.
But I got called out for being political and for also talking about bringing his grandchildren into it, which I didn't do.
Yeah, you were making it was an old joke. It had nothing to do with his grandchildren.
Yeah,
because you said first of all his great grandchildren, which I would be surprised if he has any.
Exactly, and I intentionally did that because I was like, well, he probably has grandchildren
because it was a joke.
So I'm gonna make it say great grandchildren because it's funnier and it's less likely to be true.
Yeah, but that's the thing. People like to oh crap, where can I find a place to be offended here? So that
but also like
have the upper hand.
So the what do you call it? The trope. The trope is like you kiss your mother with that mouth. But saying you kiss your mother with that mouth isn't about your mother.
Yeah.
It's about you having a potty mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. It's not about your grandchildren.
Sweet mouths. Sweet, tasty mouths. That's what it's about.
Anyway.
I'm back in, by the way.
I'm a fan of...
To the podcast?
Certain things.
Yeah, I was out when he was talking about compressors.
I don't mean to throw anyone under the bus.
About Star Wars. Then I was out.
But that was crazy talk.
Grandpas.
That kind of stuff doesn't happen in our group.
We're talking about sweet.
Well,
sweet
the fights
mouths.
do, but not the clamp down. We're not wearing green and brown.
What?
We're not wearing green and brown.
Okay, I'm back out. I don't know what's happening.
You don't know the Clash? Do you listen to the Clash?
Am I listening to the Clash right now?
You start wearing green and brown and working for the clamp down.
I never really liked the Clash.
Are you freaking kidding me? You don't like the Clash?
Sorry,
dude.
I mean, I haven't listened to him very much. I'm not as old as you are, Aaron.
That's true.
Aaron.
You're not.
Hey, you guys, have you heard of this cool band, Who First and the Gotchas?
Did you listen to him at all?
Yes.
They're good, right?
They're good, huh?
Yeah, they're super awesome. They're like
I liked
so fun.
Who posted about him in the group?
John Waite, I think.
Oh yeah, because he was saying like my wife and kids like him, and I wanted to be like, okay, just as a heads up, they drop just random F words for no reason. So
yeah, that's true.
Just be aware.
into cover songs.
Yeah. Not even
great.
like sometimes they drop him in the middle, like where it makes sense, and sometimes at the end, like at the end of a lot of their songs, he's just like, yeah, and sometimes he'll be like, yeah, mother effer, yeah.
Remember in that movie? What was the movie where they're at the wedding?
Second act.
The wedding and the wedding, the guy singing in the band.
Oh yeah,
like, was adding the F word.
It's a Will Ferrell movie, isn't it?
Oh
no, it's Wedding Crashers. It's in Wedding Crashers, I think.
No,
is it old school? It's old school.
It's old school, yeah. It's
but
so
that dude
good.
had a what was that? That dude had the Dan Band.
Yes, it's like his
but
thing.
He's singing Total Eclipse of the Heart. Yeah, he's throwing F-bombs in,
and he throws the F word into it.
I watched that on the airplane a little while ago. It's so good. Freaking love that movie.
It's a good movie.
That's like I have all these new movies I can choose from that I haven't seen, but now I'll just watch old school again.
Listen to The Clash, guys. You got to listen to The Clash.
Okay, what album should I listen
London
to?
Calling.
Don't say London Calling.
London Calling is so good. It's really good.
Okay, next should I go listen to the Ramones?
Okay, I'm sorry that London Calling is so good. Not that song. That song is okay. The album is good.
Aaron, have you heard of the band The Doors?
It's a double album.
They're good.
Yeah, I've heard of the Doors.
You should know.
I think they suck.
Yeah.
You're
I
wrong,
really don't like the Doors.
because they're famous.
I prefer Danzig to the Doors.
Part of what I don't like about the Doors is that like
sense.
everyone who watched that freaking documentary thinks that they're like super deep and cool for liking the Doors or whatever.
There was a documentary. Are you talking about the
documentary starring Val Kilmer?
Yeah, the Oliver Stone movie?
Was there a documentary that came out around the same time? I swear there was like some made-for-TV movie or something like that.
Are you talking about the movie Willow?
Yeah, that documentary with the short guy. What's his name? He's on some of those British panel shows, and he's pretty funny.
He?
I can't think of his name though.
Oh, you mean the Willow, the character,
yeah.
actor? Yeah, his name is damn it, he's
Phil.
I'm sorry to all of Cole's family, young and
especially my nephews and nieces.
Yeah. His name is
Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis.
Yes,
It's
he's
just
in
pronounced Warwick though.
Not Warwick.
No.
No.
You don't pronounce the second W like a W.
Hundgren Warwick.
Everyone knows that rule in English. When there's two W's, you never pronounce. It's like Willow. It's not Willow.
Do you guys remember that movie, The Land of Faraway?
No, but can I just another
Dude,
Star Wars
you should
trivia?
watch it. It's from 1987, starring Christian Bale.
Okay, you can choose one thing. I'll either listen to London Calling, the CD, or I'll watch The Land of Faraway.
It's a really hard choice.
It's like Sophie's Choice. One is a legendary album that I'm not familiar with and should be, and one is a movie that most people have never heard of and don't care about.
Dude, Christian Bale plays this kid named Yum, and he plays a pan flute.
Doo-doo-doo.
And there's this evil guy. Christopher Lee plays this evil guy who like makes a heart float in the air.
Dude, I've never seen this movie. How have I never seen this movie? This looks great.
You would love it.
I've said a lot of awful things that would make people believe that I'm a bad person on this podcast, but I'm most self-conscious now after saying that I don't like The Clash.
You should be. You're going to get a lot of attack.
And I'm trying to, like, I guess
So
it's because...
it's okay to say you're not like into them, but as long as you don't say they suck, then I
Well, I've just never listened to them, but...
Yeah, that's fine.
I think I was just into harder stuff back when I was younger, and then I've had no interest in getting into them as an adult.
But for real, you like ska, and you like early ska stuff,
Yeah,
right?
but
Like you like the specials and stuff.
Their ska type stuff seems so... Well, I don't know.
I'm saying
like,
you got to listen to the full album of London Calling because there are some like
Okay.
deep cuts on there that are really good.
Okay.
The Card Cheat in
it.
particular is one of my favorite songs ever.
I'm mostly worried about what Jake Ross is going to think about me. Lose all my street cred.
Dude, Jake is going to hate you after this.
Jake Ross.
Jake Ross is not going to be happy.
Is he going to be
cross?
He's going to be so cross with you.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's not a thing that we say in America, is it? Cross.
Not really.
He's going to be cross.
It's what old people say.
I got in a row with my mate the other day, and he was real cross.
That's row.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, I mean, we just...
Dude, how have I not seen this movie?
I was just saying we lined up in a row.
You're playing crap. What's that game?
We were playing British Bulldogs.
Break through their arms?
Red Rover?
Red Rover, yeah.
But we were playing British Bulldogs. Did you ever play that?
Yes.
We were allowed to play that at school when I was a kid. How crazy is that?
What is it?
You just put someone in the middle. It's kind of like Red Rover. So you put someone in the middle, and everyone else runs across, and the person in the middle tries to tackle someone.
Yikes.
And whoever gets tackled is then in the middle. And then people just keep running across. And eventually you're like 50-50. So like half the people are trying to not get tackled and half the people are trying to tackle the other half. And then at some point there's like 2 guys left. And everyone's trying to tackle.
Just swarming.
No. I thought, okay, wait. British Bull, the way we played it.
Maybe that's something else. Okay,
the way we played it is you have to grab the person and pick them up. And then yell, British Bulldog 1, 2, 3. And if you have them up in the air while you say that, then they are now on your team and they are in charge of. They are part of your group trying to run around and grab.
Yeah,
people.
Maybe we just did it like the hardcore version, where instead of picking people up, you tackle them to the ground.
We did it. No, because see, we did it at youth group, and I remember somebody getting kicked in the face, like because you'd grab them and try to lift them in the ground, and so they're trying to fight you because they're trying to get away. So if with the small people, like one person can grab somebody small and lift them up in the air, but when it's like somebody who's like, you know,
I would have freaking owned that game.
Yeah, somebody super scrappy, then you get like, 5 guys running at one person and trying to get them up off the ground, and that person is like going nuts trying to get back onto the ground. All they have to do is touch the ground to be safe, So they're like flailing and kicking and swinging. I can't believe the kind of things we did in youth group.
I'm pretty sure we played this in middle school, and I'm pretty sure we were not so sophisticated. We literally just tackled each other.
I looked on Urban Dictionary for British Bulldog. The very first
no
definition is
don't read it. Oh,
no.
Don't read it.
It's a brutal game played by British school kids, usually played on a football pitch by anywhere between 10 and 100 players. That is the first of 5 paragraphs in that description. And then the second one is so this thing like takes up an entire page. The second one, a stupid game of death played in English schools during break time. Period.
Game of death.
And then number 3 and 4 were comical, and I sent them in Facebook Messenger. And we'll let the viewers go look those up themselves. Urban Dictionary, man.
I'm looking it up on Wikipedia, and it seems to be a mix of what Phil and I say. I'm sure there's variations. The game is characterized by its physicality and is often regarded as violent, leading it to be banned from many schools in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s due to injuries to the participants, although this trend is now being reversed.
Whoa.
Nice.
I'm telling you, we played this game hardcore.
Snowflakes.
It wasn't even like nice tackles. It was like body slams.
Not in Trump's America.
So
bring that game back.
Growing up, we would like in the winter, we'd just have snow packed on the ground all throughout the winter. And so we would play a lot of tackle-based games, because it wouldn't really hurt to get tackled into the snow.
Like fishing?
Over time. Exactly. You idiot. I don't like you, Aaron. But then it would like flip to where like the frozen ground is a lot harder than grass, for example.
Yeah, right.
So like I swear we probably got so many concussions and didn't really realize it. You just get slammed down on the ice and your head hits the ice and like you're out of it for a little while. And yeah. And now look at us. Mm-hmm. We're running the country.
Who are?
colon Mitt Romney.
Hoo-ah. People.
Hoo-ah. That's whenever I never think of that like in the proper context. I only think of it when I say "who are." Then it reminds me of
"who are."
What is the proper context? It's like a weird yell.
Yeah, it's like
there's no proper context for
that's true.
Yelling "hoo-ah,
hoo-ah."
We really should try to use that in the proper context.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, before we leave, I want to say thanks again to the Gun Street Wiring Shop. Sean, I'll be hitting you up maybe soon. I have some ideas. If you want to get new wiring for your guitar, you got some crazy pickup configuration ideas.
Did I talk about the wiring on my telly already?
No. Let's save guitars for the next episode.
For Cole Duke for the next episode.
Phil Eisenhower. I'm Aaron. Thanks for friendship.
Smoke weed every day.
Have you seen that video real quick before we go of the dude who like practiced that and
so smoking weed every day?
No, he practiced the song.
He put that practice into place in his life.
He memorized exactly how long the space was. And so he finally nailed like coming in at the right time with the second line, part of that line. And just like goes ecstatic. He got so happy.
I need to go watch that.
Anyway, thanks for friendship.
Thanks for friendship.
Thanks for friendship. Thanks for friendship.